Hello, folks. Welcome to Cricket Fantasy Expert. Today, we are going to bring to you a quick preview on the ODI World Cup, the teams, and how the team sheets would look going into the World Cup, along with our predictions on the top scorer, the top wicket taker, so that you can make a note and keep it ready whenever you select your fantasy teams. We'll start with Australia first. Over to you, Sumit.
Yeah, the five-time world champions. I think this is a side who knows how to win world events, and that's I think the biggest strength of any Australian side, the winning mentality. And particular for this team, I think is their world-class fast bowling. The trio of Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood is probably the best that's playing in this tournament. However, the injury to Travis Head, I think, is a big blow to them. It does affect their team balance, and consequently, it's also the lack of a credible second spinner, especially while playing in India. The other factor is also that the first 11 hasn't played as many matches as they would have liked together as a team, partly because of injuries. But also, it's a swan song for one of the modern day greats in David Warner. So I'm sure he'll want to finish on a high. So do watch out for him. He has a lot of experience in India in the IPL and he has set it on fire. Mitchell Stark is always among the wicket takers, and come World Cup events, I think he's been the leading wicket taker in 2015 and 2019, and he'll further want to embellish his credentials. In terms of combinations, the biggest cloud that I have is actually on Pat Cummins, given that he is captain. But I'm not sure on tracks which need only two fast bowlers. Does he deserve his place purely on merit ahead of a Stark and Hazelwood? Also, the fact that a lot of players are coming back from injuries, including Cummins himself, there's Maxwell, there's Smith, the Stark, Mitchell Marsh is yet to bowl. So a bit of injury cloud over the team. In terms of playing 11, I've gone with Warner and Marsh to open, followed by Smith at number 3. Manas has been a late entrant at number 4, followed by the firepower of Maxwell. Between Stoinis and Green, I've gone for Stoinis as the all-rounder. You can equally pick Green as well. I've chosen Carey as the wicket keeper, followed by Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, and Zampa as the bowling lineup. In terms of predictions for the World Cup, for the highest run scorer, I've been a bit bold. I've gone with Mitchell Marsh ahead of probably a Warner or a Smith, but I expect Marsh to finally stay true to his potential. In terms of wicket taker, I think it's a safe choice. Mitchell Stark will be the leading wicket taker. And projected finish, as I said, Australia know how to operate at the business end of the tournament. I see them making a dash to the top 4 and finish in the semis. Next up, we have England. I think the favorites for many of the bookies.
Okay, thanks, Patil. So, England, as we all know, is the defending champions, and it's very safe to say that they actually they look like a side that can defend the title this time. The greatest strength that this team has is the recent approach that they have brought in. You call it baseball, call it the the McCallum effect, call it mentality, whatever you call it. They have been playing they have been playing tests in the T20 mindset, and it has actually worked for them. And I would be very interested to see how that approach translates to the ODI format. So they have extremely aggressive batters and who don't say die irrespective of the situation, and that I think is their biggest strength. The second biggest strength is that they have alternating right and left batsmen almost through the entire lineup, so these two gel very well for them, uh, along with obviously the spin of Adil Rashid and the pace of Wood. Probably the support bowlers are the biggest concern, that you have to get 10 overs of spin out of Livingstone and Moeen most likely, which seems to be a slight concern, especially Livingstone, who are not tested on Indian tracks. And at the same time, maybe somebody to support Wood. Oaks or Quran looks to be one of the good ones, but their third pacer might be a concern because I don't see Oaks and Quran to be playing together along with Wood. Uh, in terms of certain X factor opportunities, I think probably Stokes had made a very recent comeback to the ODIs and he looks to be in excellent form. And considering that probably he had already retired in ODI, I don't think he will be playing the next edition of the World Cup. And same would be with Roots, would be with Root. So it would be a very interesting thing to see how these two play along with each other. Maybe most likely they would be slotted at number 3 and number 4. So that would be something interesting to watch out for. And the biggest threat this team has is probably they don't have a crisis man or a consolidator after Root, and considering Malan would open. So if you lose Root and Malan within 10 or 15 overs, it would be very interesting to see how the later middle order adapts. Because this World Cup we will see a mash of the T20 mindset with the ODI format. So my guess is that teams who have solid number 5, 6, 7, and number 8, they would be doing very well. And England do have a very solid number 5 to 8. So my starting 11 would be Bairstow and Malan to open, followed by Root at 3 and Stokes at 4. Then Butler at 5. Livingstone at 6 and Moeen at 7, which is a slight concern because Moeen's batting is not that well tested in ODIs. I would pick either Oaks or Quran at 8, not both of them, followed by Wood, Adil Rashid, and either of Topley or Wheely at number 11. My guess is that Malan is the perfect kind of person to milk runs on Indian wickets, whether it is a slightly slowish wicket or a batting track, because he has both the technique and the temperament. So I think he will be leading the charts, and he's also getting to open, so he will be able to milk the power play to some extent. And for bowling, I'm actually divided between Adil Rashid and Chris Vokes because Vokes has those intelligent variations, which should be very interesting to watch. So these two are my favorite picks for the highest run getter and the highest wicket taker. So I think next we'd like to analyze Pakistan, India's arch rivals. And Akshay, you can take the stage now.
Thanks, Satam. So Pakistan as a side is like historically it's been the question of which Pakistan side arrives on the day. But just about a month ago, we can't forget that this Pakistan side was the number 1 ranked ODI side in the world. Just to follow that up with the fact that in the last 2 T20 World Cups, they have been consistent performers, reaching semis and the finals in consecutive T20 World Cups. So this Pakistan team is quite uncharacteristic of the usual Pakistan teams, in my opinion. And the good part from a Pakistan point of view is that although they were number 1 a month ago, they're no longer the number 1 side in the world. As a result of which, I don't think they are carrying the baggage of a favorite team to win the World Cup as they enter this tournament, and which will make them a really, really dangerous side this year. Talking about strengths, I think they have a very settled middle order with Babar, Rizwan, Aga Salman, and Iftikhar. They have a perfect middle order, having consolidators as well as aggressors who can play in different situations depending on what the situation demands. So that happens to be one big strength. In addition to the fact that that batting core is followed by Nawaz, Shadab, and Afridi at number 9, which will ensure that they bat deep. And even on days where they lose wickets early in the game, they might have batsmen who can play the knock, which can help their side post a decent competitive total. So I believe Pakistan's batting is kind of their strength. I would have called this Pakistan side a well-rounded unit with a extremely potent fast bowling attack had Naseem Shah not got injured at the last moment. But with Naseem's injury and Shadab being slightly out of touch when it comes to spin, I think this Pakistan bowling lineup is not right up there to what it would have been otherwise. But having said that, Afridi and Haris Rauf can't be ignored, and they are really potent on wickets like Hyderabad, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, and Bangalore, where Pakistan is bound to play majority of their matches. The biggest weakness I feel that the Pakistan team has is the lack of second spinner and the out of form Shadab Khan, especially given that they are going to play two important games against South Africa and Afghanistan in Chennai, which will assess spin. And South Africa and Afghanistan both have extremely potent spin attacks with Maharaja and Shamsi in South Africa and Rashid Nabi and Mujib in Afghan. So it's going to be tricky how they go about in these two matches and if they are able to protect those 4 points. But apart from that, I think it's a good unit which has been playing decent cricket all this while, and I see them hitting the top four for sure this World Cup, unless we again get to see that Pakistan which doesn't turn up in certain games. Coming to the 11 that will play for Pakistan, I think although Imam is kind of out of touch, I'll still give him a nod to open along with Fakar Zaman, followed by Babar, Rizwan, Aga, and Iftikhar. Then, since they don't have a good solid second spinner, I think they should go with Nawaz, who is a very handy all-round option and can bowl a few overs too. So Nawaz would be their second go-to spinner along with Shadab at number 8. And then that follows with Shaheen, Rauf, and it would be a toss-up between Hassan Ali and Mohammad Wasim, where I see Mohammad Wasim getting a nod ahead of Hassan Ali, given the fact that Hassan Ali has not played a lot of competitive cricket for Pakistan of late. So that's my 11 for Pakistan. As I said, a very strong contender for top four. And if they turn up like the strong Pakistan side, I wouldn't be surprised if they enter the finals as well.
Right.
I think that's it for today's episode, guys. We will catch up with the next set of three teams in the next episode.